Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today, as some of you might have heard already, there has been a huge announcement made in the movie industry, and Warner Brothers has decided that they are going to be releasing all of their 2021 movies on HBO Max and in movie theaters simultaneously, which is wild. Let's talk about it.
You be welcome to trace all of this
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So yeah, man, this announcement, it broke earlier today. I was in the middle of work. I think like I went on break or something and was looking at my phone and I saw this, announcement pop up on a couple places. So I checked it out and was just like, holy shit, like what a big announcement. I'm still like, my mind's blown. So I mean, on the one hand, I'm really, really torn with how I feel about this because, on the one hand, being the movie lover that I am excited that we're going to be able to finally see. We got some new films this year, but we're going to get to see quite a few, just from Warner Brothers themselves next year. It's like 17 titles or something like that we're going to get to see now because it's going to be coming out on HBO Max and in theaters wherever theaters are open. So on the one hand, that makes me very happy because it's like, I missed a lot of the, the new movies that were supposed to come out this year. It really sucked that we weren't able to see them. So on the one hand, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome. But on the other hand, we just don't know where everything's going to be with, COVID and everything right now. So just don't know where we're going to kind of be at. I feel like, until at least the winter's over, because things, at least here in the US, things have gotten pretty crazy, as you guys know. So on the one hand, I just don't know how this is going to affect the theater industry because, again, I've told you guys before, I am a big, big person about, going to the movie theaters. I love the theatrical experience. There's nothing like going to see a big blockbuster on the big screen. Myself, I go to the Jordan's IMAX that's in Massachusetts, and I haven't been able to go there at all this year. And it's completely different seeing a big blockbuster film on your home, no matter what kind of screen you have. It's completely different seeing that than going to like a big IMAX theater and just seeing it with like an opening night crowd. Like I'll tell you guys, I'm sure some of you probably had the same experience, but when I saw Infinity War and I saw Avengers Endgame, it was just, the whole experience was wild and so much fun because, getting to the theater, hours ahead of time to wait in line because that theater actually doesn't have reserved seating where it's like such a big theater. So getting there, waiting in line with all these people, waiting, talking about the movie and different things and just during the movie, some of those big scenes and the crowd reacting to it. You don't get that, if you're at home, just like, by yourself or maybe even like a few friends. So, yeah, like I said, guys, I'm really torn with how I feel about this. I'm excited and also scared at the same time. So, but yeah, I figured we would also, I'll tell you guys some of the specifics. I made a couple notes. So some of the bullet points that I wrote down or whatever is that every film will be available for just 1 month on HBO Max before it leaves the platform, and then it will continue to play in theaters. So, that's cool. So you can watch it, a number of different times. Because I know myself, sometimes when I see a new movie, I will sometimes go and see that a couple times. So it is cool that if you're a subscriber of HBO Max, you will get to watch it a couple times before it leaves the service, and then it's exclusively in the theaters, before, after, and then it possibly comes back to the service and then hits like Blu-ray and all that good stuff. So that, that is pretty cool. Some of the titles, just as far as the movies, I mentioned it was like 17 titles, something like that. We're getting obviously Wonder Woman first on December 25th, which is pretty awesome. We have Godzilla vs. King Kong, The Suicide Squad, Dune, The Matrix 4, Mortal Kombat, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Space Jam: A New Legacy, In the Heights, Tom and Jerry, and more. That's just, some of the bigger titles that are coming out, next year. So just those titles alone, that's what has me so excited, because it's like, man, I can't wait to see, some of these films. But like I said, it is going to be weird watching it from home, especially right now where it's we're getting into like the winter season. Because I actually do, this summer I set up a projection screen in the backyard, so that's actually a pretty decent sized screen. But I won't be doing that right now because it's pretty cold out here in New England. So I will be watching these, if I don't go to the theaters, which I probably won't be at the moment, just with everything kind of going on. I will be watching these, in my living room, which is a considerable difference. I only have like a 65-inch TV versus, the big IMAX screens. One of the things that I saw in the release that was cool too, just saying that basically with Warner Brothers, we're going to be getting a new release about every 3 weeks, which, that's awesome. So, I think from what I know with a subscription fee, it's like $14-15. So, I mean, every 3 weeks, you're at least getting one brand new movie. So I feel that maybe does kind of make that subscription service worth it. I myself haven't subscribed to it. One of the other things that I saw from another video today was saying that I guess with the free trials right now, they've basically canceled like the free trial. So you're not going to be able to do that unless there's like a specific like instance. Like myself, I know I've just gotten some movies from like Best Buy and stuff, and I've actually gotten emails with specific like free trial codes for like 2 weeks for HBO Max. So I got a couple of those that I guess maybe I'll do that, and then we'll see what happens. It's just like I already have Disney Plus, I have Netflix. I don't really want to add another streaming service, so it's like that's the other thing that I kind of have an issue with as well. But yeah, so I guess the free trial, that might be kind of an issue for some people. So unless you get like a specific special offer or whatever, you might not be able to do that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is what I've kind of seen in the little bit of research that I've done since the story has come out. So take that, with a grain of salt, but that's what I've seen so far. One of the things that I really do like about this too, is that I think that it's a great idea that they are giving people a choice with how to watch these movies. So, like, especially like here in the US, where everything's kind of crazy right now, some people might not feel comfortable going to the movie theaters. So if that's the case, you can watch it at home with HBO Max. But they are going to be releasing it to movie theaters for the theaters that are open, because I know not everywhere theaters are open right now. But they are giving you that choice. So I do think that is cool. So that way you're kind of covering all your bases. But speaking of the US, from what I've also seen is with HBO Max, it's only available like in the US right now, and there hasn't been like any official dates as far as rollouts for other parts of the world. So as far as these releases coming out next year, I assume the US, it'll see theaters and HBO Max. A lot of people will probably do HBO Max for the most part, and then the rest of the world I assume is going to be more theatrical releases for the places that are open. So that's interesting, and we'll have to keep an eye out to see if anything, more updates as far as that goes. Distribution of like the movies and everything. One of the other things too that I think that, this just broke literally like, a few hours ago or whatever. So one of the other things that is going to be interesting to see is just how everyone else reacts to this news. Specifically some of these other companies, like Disney, for example, they have, Disney Plus, and they've been doing, fairly well with that. What are they going to do? Are they going to move all of their movies, to Disney Plus and do the same thing for next year? They kind of had that misstep with Mulan where they ended up, charging people the $30, per like person or whatever. And obviously they're changing that with Soul that's coming out. But I'll be really interested to see if they're going to go the same route and, put all their movies next year on Disney Plus, things like Black Widow and stuff like that. Part of me really does hope that happens, so that way we get to, see all these films come out next year. But at the same time, it's like, it's just not going to be the same getting it to, see these movies on a much smaller screen than going to the theaters. So there's a lot of moving parts with this whole thing, and like, I haven't even like covered like all of it. These are just some of the things that, like I said, I thought were interesting. It's just such a huge announcement, and it's going to affect the movie industry, crazily. Like I just can't even like fathom it right now. I'm kind of speechless, guys. But yeah, so I mean, I just wanted to do a video, kind of giving you guys my thoughts, my feelings on, what's kind of going on, how I think, this is going to affect the movie, theater like business. It's going to be weird because, like I said, most people are probably going to be, I assume we're probably going to go the HBO route and watch from home. People might still be hesitant, at least through the winter time, probably to go out and watch these movies in the theaters. So I just hope that movie theaters can make it through this, the ones that are open, because some of them aren't even open right now. And it's just, how much longer can theaters do this without having, new movies to show? How much longer can they stay around? That sustainability. That, really scares me, like I said, as a movie lover, especially a lover of going to the movie theaters themselves. So I'm really curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are, down below in the comments. Definitely let me know, are you going to be one that, goes to the theaters and watches all these films? Do you think you're going to stay home and just watch these on HBO Max? I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this topic. So definitely let me know down below in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it, just so that way you get notifications for all my new videos. Also, hit the thumbs up on this video, just so that way it helps with the YouTube algorithm. It's a pain in the ass, and that really helps. So I appreciate it. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.